Hi everybody, Adam here. Today we're taking a look at an awesome new Lego instruction book from Brick Monster called Building a Lego Space Force Volume 1. The book is written by Tim Goddard and Charles Pritchett, and super impressed with the contents of the book. It includes instructions for building 5 really cool Lego space models. Now, it's worth noting today here we're looking at some printouts that I made from the digital copy of the book. You can also purchase a physical copy of the book from Amazon, and I'm sure it's listed on other, book selling websites as well. Now, I did receive this digital copy of the book for free so that I could review it, but I think it's a really good sort of endorsement for the book that I enjoy it so much that I've actually ordered a physical copy as well to go with the digital copy, because I think the models in here are that cool. Now, let's take a look at a few pages from inside the book to sort of highlight and showcase some of what you're getting when you purchase this book. Now, one of the things that I think you can tell from some of these initial pages and covers that we're looking at from the book is the just general quality of the imagery throughout the book. Really impressive. It's one of the first things that I always look for in a Lego book, whether it be, one that has building instructions or, just a general factual book about, different aspects of the Lego hobby. I always want to see great photography, great imagery throughout. And this book definitely does not disappoint. It's got a ton of amazing pictures, and I really thought it was a novel way here for them to show the table of contents. We've got this great Lego space kind of hangar scene here with the 5 models pictured that you get instructions for within this book. So we've got the X-19 Speeder, the T-32 Nomad, the Star Courier, the Legion Command Suit, and the Surface Rover. All really interesting models, and I like the fact here that they haven't gone completely for spaceships. We've got the mech sort of exoskeleton suit here. You've got the little rover vehicle, in addition to 3 different takes on the Lego spaceship. So really impressed with all of those. And I think it's a really cool setting to showcase those 5 models in as well. And really sort of highlights the fact that, you've got instructions here for some really great Lego space builds that you can recreate and put together. But this book also really serves as a jumping off point and kind of a inspiration for other models and scenery that you might build in the Lego space genre. I think it would be really awesome to do a hangar like this where all of these models and more could hang out, or just even other sort of planetary locations that all of these different models could fit in. So really cool to see that wide variety of model in the book here. And like I said, always impressed when the books like this not only give you instructions, but offer you little tidbits that can, kind of serve as a jumping off point for other builds that you could do in that theme. Now, next up, taking a look at the how to use this book and finding pieces section. This section is common throughout all of the Brick Monster books and is quite well done. First off, the how to use this book is talking about a few things to keep in mind when you're going through the step-by-step instructions for each module. I have to say that the instructions are really clear and easy to follow, and been quite happy with the way the instructions are laid out in all of the Brick Monster books. So really happy with that. And then I think the finding pieces section is a great section to have in the book. It talks about the obvious ways that you can find the parts for the models in the book. Here you can look in your own personal collection. You can use the pick-a-brick wall at the Lego store. You can buy the parts off of the Lego Shop website, or you can use Bricklink. And it's worth noting that the book itself has a very clear, they call it a bill of materials, but basically, part list that you can look at and figure out the parts you need, the colors for each of those parts. And if you get the digital copy of the book, it comes with the XML files for each of the builds that you can use to easily add the parts to your Bricklink want list. So super easy to see what parts you need for the builds in the book. And based on my looking on Bricklink, I think the part requirements and the price for those parts is all really reasonable. The looking at, for somebody like me who's in Canada and looking at ordering the parts for these particular models, for the 5 builds, I was looking at roughly $140 to $150 plus shipping to get all the parts. And, likely in a lot of cases, you wouldn't need to order every single one of the parts. A lot of these parts are things that would show up, in other sets that you might have built or that you would have in your parts collection. So, not bad across the 5 models there. And I'm not sure, I'm sure that price changes depending on what country you're in, or if you're ordering parts in the US or other countries. I was just looking at, if I was ordering this exclusively from Bricklink stores in Canada, what would the pricing be? Now, one other point that they mention in the finding pieces section that I like in particular is that, when you're looking through the parts list, it's worth noting, where does this part get used in a particular model? In some cases, the parts are used inside the model where, they can't be seen. So there's a lot of flexibility there to maybe change the color of a particular part, or maybe, if one part is difficult or not, you're not able to get it, but you can replace that with 2 other parts that you have in your collection. That's entirely feasible. And, in some cases, even if a part is visible, I think it's still, possible to swap that for something else, depending on where it is on the model, because you can kind of add your own flair to a particular build and sort of customize it a little bit by swapping out colors or changing up a few aspects of a build. So really like this part of the book. It really sort of helps drive home all the different options you have for getting the parts for these builds. And, I think they do a great job with making it really clear for each of the models what the part list is that's required for it. Now, the last thing that I wanted to cover here is the kind of spec sheets that show up in front of each of the each section of the book for the model that is the focus of that section. So you can see here we've got the spec sheet for the X-19 speeder, and then this one is the spec sheet for the surface rover. Really cool pages. Again, drives home what I was mentioning with the excellent photography for each of those models. And it's just an interesting little bit of lore that they've put in here as well for each of these models. Now, with my printer, some of the text here is a little hard to read when you print it out. It's super clear in the digital copy. It just does not come out particularly nicely on my printer, or at least not in a way that's probably going to translate super well to the camera here. But I really like, we've got a section of lore here. You've got the cool logo here for the company that built this particular speeder, the Ursa Interstellar Corporation. Really cool to get those bits of lore there. Got a spec sheet section here with all the little stats on it. And then we've got an interesting top side front view look of the model, which is a nice touch. And you can see over here, we've got a different corporation for the surface rover. Another great little lore section here. Some more stats for the model. And then another great, you got the top, front, and side view here of the model. All stuff which, is not required for each model. If you just had the picture and the instructions, that would be all that you need. But these extra little bits of background story and information, I think add a lot to the model and give you, some more ideas of things that you could use for, as a jumping off point for, maybe other vehicle models that you build, or maybe a particular location that you might build to house some of these models. So I really appreciate that extra level of detail and work that they went to. And I think it really speaks to the effort they've gone through here in constructing this book. And, I'm really impressed, like I said, overall with the quality of this book and with the interesting models in here. And I think it's interesting, they say on the front here, it's volume 1. I definitely hope that we're going to see some more volumes in this particular book series. Now, as I mentioned, I'm in the process of picking up the physical copy of this particular book, looking forward to building these models myself. As I mentioned, got orders in for the parts on Bricklink. So as I build the models in this book, I'll do a few follow-up videos where you can see the sort of real world versions of them. But all in all, super happy with the Building a Lego Space Force Volume 1 book by Tim Goddard and Charles Pritchett. I think an excellent book. Highly recommend checking it out. I will include links below so you can see where to pick up the digital copy or physical copy of the book, depending on what you are looking for. And, as always, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.